It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is the official Diego Pacheco versus Marcelo Coceres post-fight review, and your result of the fight is a Diego Pacheco 9th round stoppage in what was a very entertaining, main event, a very entertaining super middleweight affair. So let's talk about Pacheco, because to me, when you talk about the young American fighters, I don't care if you're talking about prospects or young American contenders. I just think Pacheco has long been one of the most interesting fighters here for a while. When he signed with Eddie Hearn, he was blue chip amateur. He was ranked simultaneously #1 in the USA and Mexico at the same time as an amateur. And I've been, anytime I talk about this young man, anytime I talk about Diego Pacheco, I've been very adamant. And I'm not really this adamant about young fighters before they really prove anything, but I've been very adamant for years that Diego Pacheco is Eddie Hearn's best young American talent, and he continues to make me look good, and more importantly, himself look good, because he fought with Marcelo Coceres, who we know in boxing is a very tough gatekeeper. Guy has been in there with the best of them, big names, prime names, the who's who of 168, other guys he's fought. Guys like Billy Joe Saunders, who we first fought for the world title back in 2019. Billy Joe struggled with Coceres, and by many accounts was down in the fight. Had to come back and stop Coceres. Also, fought Edgar Berlanga, most notably him. Berlanga, that was in the undercard of Wilder Fury 3. Berlanga got dropped, but he lost that fight. Fought Eric Bazanian, tough, undefeated fighter, good puncher, took him the distance. Took Miriam Nurzulan off the distance. So this is a guy that's hard to beat and even harder to stop, right? And I think this fight is exactly what Diego Pacheco needed. There were some moments in this fight, particularly beginning in round 4, where Coceres is just awkward. He'll leap and throw a hook at you. There were a couple of times where there was one instance where he purposely ducked down and slipped inside and purposely tried to cause a head clash and make things rough and tough for the young man Pacheco. And there were some times where Pacheco, some heat was really brought his way, and you don't really know with young fighters oftentimes how they're gonna react to when a veteran fighter, an experienced fighter like Coceres is gonna bring out of them. Sometimes they fold, sometimes they shine like a diamond, and I thought Pacheco he did the latter. He shined like a diamond. I saw Pacheco in there very defensively responsible, particularly in those first 6.5 rounds. He was doing a good job when Coceres would close the gap. He would turn him. He would sometimes there were punches that Coceres threw with bad intentions. He would just kind of roll him off the shoulders. He's a very he's so advanced for his age. You got to almost kind of remind yourself sometimes that he's 22 years old, because he's 22 years old, but he fights like he's with the IQ of a 32 or 35-year-old fighter. That's the level he's operating at, and that's what good work in the gym with guys like Canelo and Benavidez and all the guys he's been sparring with over the years, as well as his amateur experience. That's what that will do for you. So he did a good job early in the fight, first 3 rounds, establishing that jab off that long rangy frame, just show him different looks, pop that jab. Then, I would say rounds 4 to 6, is where Coceres really made him uncomfortable and really asked those tough questions of the young South Central native, right? But then you get to like round 7, 8, and 9, and I think that was the part of the fight where Pacheco makes the adjustment to where he's not gonna box him, he's not gonna try to counterpunch him. He made the decision to fight him. Okay, he made the decision to stand in the pocket and fight him. And after what we just saw this past week on Thursday with Shakur Stevenson, it's refreshing to hear young fighters say, "Hey, yeah, I knew I couldn't box this guy no longer, so I had to sit there and I had to fight him." Because no matter how good you are defensively, there's gonna come an opponent for everybody where you're gonna have to sit there and fight. And for Pacheco, that was this fight, and he did a great job. The punch that really worked for him in this fight, it wasn't necessarily the jab, although it was effective, and it wasn't even the right hand. The punch that really got Coceres' attention was the uppercut, because Coceres, being a high guard fighter, oftentimes likes to duck down. So Pacheco, I noticed, even in the rounds where he was struggling a little bit, he was trying to time when he would duck down. So you'd obviously Pacheco kind of stick that that lead left hand out there. If he ducked at all, the uppercut would just come down the middle. And that's what happened in like round 7, round 8, round 9. And that was actually the punch that wound up putting out Marcelo Coceres. So Pacheco gets a stoppage. He's only the second man to stop Coceres along with Billy Joe Saunders. But he stopped him 2 rounds earlier than Billy Joe Saunders. So he beat him more decisively than anybody's ever beaten him. And it's a statement that's been made to the 168 division. And it's crazy because you want to almost put the training wheels on him because he's so young. But then you look at him fight. You watch his skill level. You hear him talk. You hear his maturity. This kid's ready, man. This kid's ready for big fights. And I know Canelo holds all the belts. And I don't think Canelo will give him a fight because I think Canelo's going to explore bigger fights than Pacheco. But, you look at the guys like Jaime Munguia, the guys like Edgar Berlanga. I think in 2024, those are very realistic fights for him. And when it comes to the subject of like Edgar Berlanga and Jaime Munguia, it's crazy as it sounds. Although he's only 22, I honestly think he could beat both of them. I think he's that good. I think he's that advanced. And I'm looking forward to seeing him get those big fights because he is Eddie Hearn's best young American talent. So much respect to him. I think Pacheco's got it all. I think this fight showed that he has durability as well because a lot of people question with him being tall, having that tall, does he have tall man syndrome? He got hit by a guy who can punch. He got hit by a guy that put Berlanga on his ass and he didn't buckle. None of that really happened for him. He was able to handle those nervy moments in the fight. So I think he's got a good chin. I think he's obviously got great boxing skills and we know he can fight. So every fight, he's just ticking the boxes more and more and more. So yeah, Diego Pacheco, he's the real deal and he performed as per usual. So yeah, that being said, I want to also touch on some other things going on that happened on the card real quickly because it wasn't just Diego Pacheco's homecoming. It was also, you had the return of Kal Yafai, the former WBA super flyweight champion, a guy that was a legitimate champion, had 5 world title defenses, hasn't fought a whole lot since the Romo Gonzalez fight where he got destroyed in 9 rounds and was on the wrong end of a virtuoso performance from Romo Gonzalez. He took on Jonathan Rodriguez, out of Pennsylvania, and this is only his 2nd fight since the Romo Gonzalez fight. And the last time we saw Kal Yafai, he fought Gerald Paclar out there in Abu Dhabi, and he almost got knocked out in that fight. So his punch resistance didn't look good the last time we saw him, and it was bad in this fight. Rodriguez blitzed him and got him out of there in 2 minutes and 17 seconds of the first round. And Kal Yafai has officially announced his retirement from boxing. So it's a bad way to go out for Yafai, but look, he's damaged goods at this point, but he has nothing to hang his head about. Olympian, world champion, legitimate world champion, 5 world title defenses. And I got a lot of respect for Kal Yafai because he's always been a guy that's I feel he tried to fight the best when he was champion, and he was good. I think he was good for British boxing. So it's the end for him, and I wish him nothing but the best in life after boxing, and hopefully we cross paths when I go out to the UK because I did really enjoy talking to him in 2019. But as far as Jonathan Rodriguez, I want to talk about him because this is a guy in Rodriguez who. I didn't know a ton about him, but this is a guy that literally his last fight he fought in the 6th rounder, and he's just been fighting in 6th and 8 rounders, and he got his opportunity against Kal Yafai, a former world champion, and beat the brakes off of him. So it looks like the WBA is gonna have a new player in the division, and his name is Jonathan Rodriguez. So I gotta learn more about him, but he definitely made a hell of a first impression on me. Because from what they've said on the telecast is that apparently he's like a college student and he wasn't even a full-time boxer. But I think this may just change the trajectory of his ambitions in boxing. So much respect to him. It's not easy to go in there and destroy a guy like that in 1 round. He made it look easy. So he deserves a lot of respect. So see what else happened on this card. Mark Castro. Mark Castro had a fight. He stopped some guy named Gonzalo who was 12-2. He let his hands go. He looked more angry and vicious than usual. So I think he's progressing nicely as well. And to me, that's my summary of the card. I didn't really pay much attention to the Erica Cruz fight. I kind of just went and got a snack when that was going on. But nonetheless, Diego Pacheco, he is the real deal. If you didn't believe then, you should definitely be believing now because he's showing you guys every single fight that everything I've said he's that and maybe even a little bit more because You ask fighters to be complete. He can box, he can punch, he can counterpunch. He's defensively sound. He has the ability to finish. I mean, for my money, when it comes to the young American fighters, like I know a lot is made of Ryan Garcia and Shakur and Keyshawn and Bruce Carrington and Xander, Xander Zayat, or these American fighters that on the come up. But for my money, the best one out of the bunch, out of all of them, might just be Diego Pacheco, because he's ticking all the boxes, and I think he's going to be a guy that will be a net positive for the sport of boxing. So that's just my opinion. But shout out to Coceres. Always gives a tough fight. Took him to some deep, dark places. But when the pressure got put on Diego Pacheco, he shone like a diamond. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys thought. What do you guys think? What did you guys think about Pacheco's performance? How do you think he performed? What do you think about him fighting Edgar Berlanga or Jaime Munguia next year? Because he's up there in the rankings. We can't keep the training on wheels on for too much longer, because he's that good that he's put himself in that position. So big things are ahead for him, and yeah, just another great night for him. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.